I would not be surprised if we're sitting here midway through the year, as long as they're all healthy, and we're like, man, he is gunning it. Like they are just,
Yeah.
God knows Andy doesn't want to run it. So, I'll take the over on the Mahomes stuff.
It's that football show here on KC Sports Network. Tucker Franklin hanging out with Matt Verderame, as always, here on this fine program on this fine Wednesday. Thank you to our partners, Ben Holiday Bottled and Bond Bourbon and Holiday Distillery, the wonderful folks over there in Weston, Missouri. Go check them out. It's, look, we're in the dog days of summer, folks. You guys know that already. There is some quick hitters that we'll get to. We're also going to be talking about some Chiefs prop bets as well. But before we dive into it, Matt, how you doing? How was your weekend?
Good. Doing good. Weekend was fun. Weekend was low key. Just kind of hung out, relaxed. I'm going out to New York for a couple of weeks next Tuesday. So I'm trying to just physically rest up after the old surgery. 14 hours in the car is going to be interesting.
I was going to say, yeah, that's a choice.
Yeah, should be a long ride. With a 7-year-old and a dog. So look out. I might throw the dog out of the car in Erie, Pennsylvania, and he can defend for himself. Just kidding out there before somebody out there is like, oh my God. I'm kidding. Right. He's a great dog. But yeah, man, just kind of resting, relaxing, hanging out this week. More of the same. Thursday night, I'm getting dragged out by my wife to her work dinner.
Oh,
there's not enough liquor in the ocean, my friends. That is, because they're all going to make medical jokes and laugh about them.
Mm-hmm.
And at first, the first joke, I'm going to be like, yeah. And then the 25th joke, I'm like, you think that's funny? Huh? You think it's funny? You're terrible. You're not funny. You have no sense of humor. I'm just going to be stuck just dealing with they're all nice people. I've met them. They're all very nice people, but there's only so many jokes you can listen to about a scalpel.
For sure.
Before you're ready to use a scalpel on somebody. So, I'm stealing myself for Thursday. The good news is right afterwards, I'm headed out to a boat with some friends, and I'm just going to just drink the pain away.
Great.
Yeah. Thank God for that.
Shout out to the boat.
How was your weekend?
Kind of the same. Didn't really do a whole lot of stuff around here. You got to have some of those during the summer though, too. Because the summer can sometimes just get away from you. All just with how much goes on in the summer. This upcoming weekend, I'm playing in Matt Miller's golf tournament. I'll be driving down to Joplin, Missouri on Saturday. Support the Miller brothers down there in Joplin in their tournament.
What's their cause at the championing?
That's a great question. Somebody for a that plays in a golf tournament should probably know that.
Right, you're like, I'm just down there for the Miller.
I know they do a coat drive in the winter for
that. Yes, they
for the community in Joplin. I know that's been a big thing that Matt and his brother have done down there as well. But I think it's the second time I've played in it. Matt was adamant that I came down another time for it, but we'll see how that goes because I got to drive back to Kansas City that night and I got to pick up Tara from the airport who's currently out of town. So I've been single guying it. I've been bachelor padding it. While Tara's been out of town. I ate like a whole pound of skirt steak, just straight skirt steak for dinner.
Good. There's nothing wrong with that. It's sometimes you just got to party, man. I mean, listen, you know what? The last time this is actually now becoming a depressing story. The last time I was completely on my own for an extended amount of time was a decade ago. And and you'll understand as time goes on.
Probably. Yeah.
So I've got, by the way, I wanted to look this up for Matt Miller, annual golf tournament in Joplin. It is to support the 15% Foundation.
There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
Better man than I am.
Yeah, I had to give him a shout out. He has always been very kind to me. But I remember when my wife, at that time we didn't have kids, And I think we were engaged and we were living together. And she was like, I'm going out like a weekend with the girls, blah, 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 blah. She's like, okay. And now, mind you, man, listen, this was like October.
Yeah.
I was like, this is great. I'm going to watch sports nonstop. I got 3 days. Like, it's just me and the dog. And we were living in Chicago at the time. And around the corner and like 2 blocks down was this place called First Slice. It's a pizza, not pizza, it's a pie place. Mm. And they have this chocolate peanut butter pie that normally I get like a slice of it, but I went down there and they had a small to medium sized one that's meant probably for like 4 people to share.
Not that day.
Like, guess what, boys? It's going to be a 1-person pie today. And I went down and I was like, all right, I'm going to buy this and I'm going to eat 1 slice a day for 3 days. And then I'll leave Steph a slice and we'll call it good. I don't think that pie saw the late games on Saturday. I ripped through that whole thing. I was ordering out. It was unbelievable. It was the greatest. Like, after she came back, oh, did you miss me? I'm like, oh yeah, you know,
absolutely,
yeah. And it's funny you mention all this because actually this weekend everybody's going to go up to the lake house in Wisconsin except for me because I was like, I'm going to rest my back before I go out to New York. I have like 2.5 days.
Look at that.
And now I got to figure out what to do with them.
I just bought a lot of meat. I've got like steaks that that's what I eat for dinner is I will do just the meat, no sides. I'll have a couple steaks, maybe a baked potato if I'm feeling frisky. That's it. Like we went to go get like dinner for me while she was out. She's like, all right, let's go get grocery shopping. We'll get you. What do you want? And I was like, well, you can get
a child.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much get a Hy-Vee and you can get some stuff, Tuck.
Yeah, right. I was like, just give me a couple packs of chicken breasts, those chicken thighs, few steaks. I'm good. I'm set. That's all I need. I got leftovers, right? Like I didn't eat the whole 2 pounds of skirt steak. I got that left over. So I'm gonna have that for lunch tomorrow, and then I'll probably make chicken thighs. Like I'll just eat the meat. Yeah,
nothing wrong with that. You know what? I am such a. People always make fun of me because I actually do eat like I'm a child. I will probably order like pot belly and just have them delivered to the house,
dude. But that pot belly's so good.
I fucking love pot belly. Chicken and cheddar.
Yeah,
easy onion, some mayo, avocado. Get me those Zapped Voodoo chips.
Oh yeah,
like a Diet Coke, and I am in my glory. Like it, that you know, man. Like back in the day, when I was 25 years old, it is before I even met my wife. If I had, I would have had every weekend to myself back then. Like I would have been partying, would have been going out. Like, I wouldn't care. I would have thrown my back out. Who cares? Whatever. No, who doesn't need another back surgery? Like it would have just been like balls to the wall. Now, like man, I just want to sit down, some peace and quiet. Eat my pot belly, maybe go hang out with my friends and have like a few drinks one night, but not go too hard because I don't want to have a headache and stuff. And then just chill out, take a nice walk when it's brisk. It's over, man. It's over. Although when I go to New York, I'm probably eating fairly hammered, like every other night. Yeah. So we'll. But again, it's not like when you're 25, you get hammered. It's different now. Like. My friends and I get hammered and have like a 1,000-piece puzzle out on the table. Let's get fucked up and do this puzzle. It's like, I mean, it's different now. The girls are they're drinking like the wine coolers, and me and my buddy are swapping like some fucking I don't know like Crown Apple, Crown Royal Apple, and then like better mix in a Zima. And I just to, make sure the edge doesn't get too heavy. And then after a while, we're out of Zima. Yeah, no, I'm not. I've never. If I had a Zima, I would go to therapy immediately. But yeah, no, it's so much different. We used to shoot off fires, bombs, just shooting them off. Roman candle fights. Now, like if I saw anybody having a Roman candle fight, I'd be, hey, you're gonna kill yourselves over there.
Have you seen Roman candle baseball? Have you seen that one? That trend going on?
I've seen it. I've never done it. That looks amazing. No.
Yeah, it would be intense. There's people already shooting fireworks off in my neighborhood. My dog's calm down.
They're a little early.
I agree. My dog's not a huge fan of fireworks, so like it's been not very good at this household.
Yeah. Especially when you got a dog, it comes rough.
Yeah.
Have you ever shoot a potato gun?
No, I can't think so. I don't think so.
Oh, so those things. So that was old school. So you got a piece of PVC pipe.
Yeah, you make this at home. Is this a homemade thing you can do?
It is a homemade thing.
Maybe that's my project while Tara's out.
Yeah, he's called Tara big. Hey, babe, guess what? I just shot a potato to the next county, like so right over the state line. Like so, you get a piece of PVC pipe,
yeah,
and you jam a potato into that bad boy, and then it's got to be real tight and it got to get a good fit. And then you strike a match and you spray some hairspray, and I'm telling you, you can shoot a potato across a lake. Okay, now everybody out there listening, don't do that at home. Okay?
Not at home. At somebody else's home, not yours.
For the love of God, I don't want to get sued because somebody in here is like, I tried to do what Verderame told me to do, and I killed my dog. Like, no. Like, I was a moron, okay? But that was something that after we played paintball, you did that sometimes. Good times.
I can get one on Amazon, $118, free returns. Oh, it's not going to get here till July 8th.
Oh, that's not good.
That's not. What happened to Amazon Prime? What happened to free 2-day shipping?
Too many dead people got involved with
that. But great point. maybe we should back away from that one before we become some of those.
Yeah.
Last thing before we get into football, I got to shout out our KCSM Foundation's 4th annual Tacos and Bourbon Golf Tournament. Go get that. Links in the description. GiveButter.com/KCSN Golf. Go get your team signed up. That's Monday, August 18th. Creekmore Golf Club. This is a real nice golf club. You guys will show up and think, how did these guys get this golf club? How did they let these jamokes get this golf club reserved for this tournament? And then you're going to say, it makes sense why it's on a Monday.
There is nothing that makes you feel like trash more than when you go to a really fancy country club.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like me, like, I don't belong here. This is not where I should be. I have a buddy back home, Big Cat, who his dad is a really, really high up there executive with this company that is like number one, I think, in the country, if not the world, in building bridges. So wow. They're like that company's rolling in it.
Yeah.
And they have like a lot of companies that size, they have like I'm sure it's for a charity. I can't remember, but it was like an outing, like a golf retreat or whatever, golf tournament. And so they needed teams of 4. And so my buddy's dad, it was my buddy, his father. He's like, hey, listen, we need a 4th person. And I was like, all right, what the hell? And then I was like, I'm like, I'll go. And then long story short, I ended up being like an alternate for it. And so, but I was like, I'll just go. What the hell? It's free stuff, and I'll just hang out in the cart.
Yeah.
So, my buddy's brother, the father's youngest son, or second youngest son, goes up to tee off the first box. It's 7 a.m. They're hammered, right? And so the kid wasn't hammered. He's like 17. Kid takes a swing and he drives the first ball about 20 yards downwind. It hits a tree. And it comes back and lands behind him. And my buddy's dad just goes, I just want everybody to know that he's not my child. I'm like, off and running, 7 a.m. and everybody's drunk. It was like, I remember like these like 2 70-year-old men drove by us on a golf cart. Maybe at 7:30 in the morning, to be generous. Like,
yeah.
Here comes the vodka train, and then just blow into the woods. I was like, that's all right. Well, train derailed. And that was it. So it sounds like the KCSN golf tournament's going to be a lot classier than that. And that was at a club that used to be the Playboy, like one of the Playboy mansions.
Wow.
Yeah, that was at that club. I don't think they ever went back there.
They were politely asked not to come back.
We were told never to step foot on this course again. Yes.
That probably won't happen at Creekmore Golf Course in Raymore, Missouri. You also won't have to get up at 7 a.m. either because it's 11 a.m. checkoff.
That's a beautiful thing.
Tea time. So, Yeah, go check us out. KCSN, givebutter.com/KCSN golf. Fourth annual tacos and bourbon. We'll have bourbon from Holiday Distillery and tacos from Tacos for Life. All right, Matt. Let's get into it. 15 minutes deep into the pod, and we're finally gonna talk a little bit of football. Look, I mean, people, dude, it's June. I mean, what
I know, I can't wait for the first comment. It's like,
it will be
Bobby 497872 is like, I don't show up to hear about Verderam's potato gun stories and golf retreats. It's like, you know what? You showed up in June. You're getting what you get.
You know what? You reminded me of a comment that I saw on last, I think it was Friday's video.
Like, I don't want to hear a word about, just be happy there's a show in June.
I'm gonna go find this because this is something I almost screenshotted it and sent it to you, and then I thought, no, I want to read it to Verderame live on the show so I can get his reaction for the show. This was actually from a day ago on the show that we posted on Friday. At North39, thanks for watching and leaving a comment. That does affect the algorithm, so we appreciate that. I can't watch when Matt is on. Buddy, I got tough fucking news for you. I got bad news.
You're going to want to sit down, champ. I'm on
39.
every fucking show. Here's my question to that guy. Did you just realize I'm on every show? Like were you watching? You're like, wait a minute.
The first show he saw was me and Josh when you had back surgery. He's like, this show, I love this show. He's like, that's weird why he keeps calling him Matt Verderame. That guy's name's Josh. That's weird.
That's fantastic. Like, yeah, listen, this might not be the show for you then, Chief.
That's fine. I get it.
Who cares? I'm not for everybody. That's not a problem. I don't aim to be for everybody, but that is to leave that comment is hilarious. Like, thank you for the heads up.
Yeah, just lacks all kinds of, like, I had 4 responses typed out to it because like I was gonna respond to it, and I was like, you know what? No, I got a better idea.
I mean, look, man, I'm not taking an ounce of offense to it. Different strokes for different folks. You don't think there are people that hate me that haven't told me they hate me? That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not milquetoast. I don't expect everybody out there to admit this guy's the best. But for somebody who's, I'm assuming, seen the show before, based on I can't watch it when Matt's on.
I mean, look, they've been subscribed.
We started this show a year and a half ago. It's been us the whole fucking time. Nobody else has been on the show.
They've been publicly subscribed to KCSM for a year.
Come on, man. Come on. It's like, did you just come out of like a year-long stupor? Like, this guy is causing problems.
Thank you, North39, for that comment.
Bro, that's the best. If you're on Twitter, shout out. Give me a follow, and then just tell me you want to DM me. You can just rip me in a comment. I'll even let you free shot. Like, I wouldn't even, like, you can just DM me, and I won't even fight back. Like, just anything you've got, just let me have it, and I'll just send back like a thumbs up to let you know I saw it.
Yes.
It's fantastic. That
is a good one. It was a good one.
It's like Briscoe with a burner.
Right. Briscoe just wants to be on the whole time. Yeah. So I like when that Briscoe guy's out here. Anyway, we are going to talk about some prop bets. I think we did this last year a little bit too, with the Chiefs specifically. We got some prop bets, and I'll talk about the award prop bets as well. The Chiefs do have obviously odds to win the Super Bowl. They have the looks like 4th best, actually 2nd best odds, because the Eagles, the Bills, and the Ravens are all tied for the 1st best odds. So they technically have the 2nd best odds to win the Super Bowl. 4th on the board when it comes down to it. Let's start with some player props, then we can kind of go wider if you're good with that, Matt. And obviously we got to start with Patrick Mahomes because this is a Patrick Mahomes show. Let's do his stat line that our friends at DraftKings Sportsbook, go check them out. You'll hear from them later on in the show. You'll hear from DraftKings Pick 6 later in the show. You'll hear from DraftKings Sportsbook later on in the year as we get closer to the football season. But DraftKings Sportsbook, all these lines are coming from there. Mahomes pass yards over under set at 4,050.5. Are you taking the under or the over?
Okay, so here's the case for the under. He gets hurt.
Yeah.
Like that's because 4,050.5. Like he's gone under that total twice in his career as a starter. I mean, obviously his rookie year, but like as a starter.
It's the last 2 years, correct?
No.
Oh.
2019, he threw for 40-31.
Oh.
But he was hurt for 2 games.
That's true.
Okay. That year he was averaging 288 yards a game. Okay, so if he's healthy, he's throwing for like 4,700 yards a year. And then last year he threw for 39-28. And obviously sat out the last game.
Yeah.
2 years ago, he threw for 41-83. So they essentially middled it between the last 2 years.
Okay.
Here's my thought on this, trying to just obviously be as objective as possible. He had a rookie in Worthy last season, who obviously this year is now in the second year and should be more consistent because the first half of the year he was anything but consistent. Second half of the year was very good. And it's great in the playoffs.
Right.
Hollywood Brown, I cannot imagine will have a worse year than he had last year. He missed pretty much the entire season. And then when he came back, he was fairly ineffective outside of, I think, like 1 game.
Yeah.
Rashee Rice looked like Jerry Rice the first 3 games of the year and then got hurt because Mahomes, intentionally took his knees out.
Can I sidebar that real quick? Just a quick stat that about Rashee Rice. He averaged 96 yards a game in those first 3 games. He was on pace to break Tyreek Hill's receiving record in 16 games, single season receiving yards record in 16 games.
Yeah.
Which was the amount of games that Tyreek Hill set it in, to be clear. Right. So he was on a tear.
And he also, by the way, was getting more targets per game than anybody in the history of in the Chiefs.
Yes.
I'd have to double check that, but I believe that's just certainly of receivers. I'd have to check against Kelsey, but of any receiver.
Yeah.
If Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy are on the field together for 17 games or even close to that, he's throwing for more than 4,050 yards. Like Again, I think the case for the under is either you think Rice is going to get hurt or he's not going to be healthy, like even when he's playing because he's coming off the knee.
Right.
Like, or Mahomes is not going to be healthy, which there's really no reason to think that about Mahomes. He's been pretty durable his whole career.
Yeah.
That's the argument. Because if he's on the field for 16, 17 games and Rice and Worthy and Kelsey are there, like, I mean, here, let's put it this way. I know we're going to get to the receivers here. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I won't give away. Let's say, what is a fair number? If Rice and Worthy and Kelsey are all like reasonably healthy this season, what is a fair number to expect just the 3 of them to rack up in receiving yardage?
Well, I think you would at least expect 1,000 from Rashee. I think Rashee Rice. Is it unfair to say you think Rashee Rice could be the leading receiver this year? I don't think that's unfair to say.
On the team or in the league?
The team.
Oh, dude, I think if he's healthy, I think he's easily the leader. I don't think it's not fair to say I think he get 1,400 yards.
It's not Kelsey anymore. Kelsey won't be the. I think out of Rice and Worthy and Kelsey, I think Kelsey's 3. It's probably Rice, Worthy, Kelsey. Truthfully,
I would agree because I think that's what they want it to be.
Yeah.
Let's put it this way. My thought is those 3 guys just throw their numbers in a pile. I think they're good. It's fair to say are good for 3,000 yards receiving.
Yeah. I think it's
because like one of them could have like 1,300, one of them could have 1,000, and one could have 700 or something.
Yeah.
So if you believe that, like Noah Gray last year had how many receiving yards? It's probably around 400 something.
Or
like that?
something. Yeah, I want to say off the top of my head.
And Noah Gray had 437. Okay.
Look at us.
So if he puts up like 400, Juju has his like 300.
Right.
The backs post between them like 400. And then you have like your ancillary Royals has 200 or something. And you're already at 4,300 yards. Like, so I mean, I just, and that doesn't even include, we didn't include Hollywood Brown in that.
Right.
So I just, man, I got to be honest. I think if he's if they're reasonably healthy at receiver this year and Mahomes is upright, I would hammer that over pretty good. I just do not think you're going to have another year. I mean, hell, if they needed the last game, he would have done it last year.
It's a great point. Yeah.
Like easily. So yeah, I would take the over.
Yeah. I mean, he was averaging, let me look at this. He's 6.8 yards per attempt last year. And he had 245 yards per game. Yeah, I mean he would have beat it last year if you just take his average and throw it on another game. I think it's over. His touchdown passes is at 27 and a half. Looking at his previous touchdowns last year, he had 26. The year before, he had 27. Obviously, in 2022, he had 41. And he's surpassed that outside 2019, where he did miss 2 games. He had 26 there. But the last 2 years, 27, 26, 27 and a half is the line from DraftKings Sportsbook. How do you feel about that one?
So this one gives me more pause than the yardage. The yardage to me is a no-brainer. Now, as you mentioned, before the last 2 years, his TD totals were 50, 26. Again, he got hurt. He would have had over 30. 38, 37, 41. So, 30 feels like a pretty good bet. You said the numbers was 27 and a half?
Yeah, so you need 28 to go over.
The only thing that gives me any pause is they actually now seem to be able to run the ball in short yardage situations with Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
Where, a lot of times I feel like when they were at, the 1 or 2 yard line before, they were like, well, better throw it in because can't run it. Yeah. Though I got to say, though, again, if they're healthy, I just think he's going to have a lot of numbers this year. I would not be surprised if that guy puts up a stat line this year of 4,700 yards and 39 touchdowns or something. I think the last 2 years, and understandably, have kind of made people forget a little bit of what a light show that guy is when they have anybody all around him.
Yeah.
I mean, those numbers, if you said those a couple of years ago, you'd be hysterically laughing. You'd be like, what are those his numbers by Thanksgiving? Oh, come on. Yeah. I mean, if they have Rice and Worthy and Kelsey and Brown, how many foursomes are there that are better in the NFL than that? Right? Not many. Not many. And I'm not even the biggest Hollywood Brown. He's fine, but he's a third receiver. He's pretty damn good third receiver.
Yeah.
And if Worthy's your number 2, that's a pretty damn good number 2. And then you get into Rice is a legitimate number 1 receiver. And Rice might be a top 10 receiver in the NFL this year. So, yeah, man, I'm going to go over on the Mahomes stuff. I think I would not be surprised if we're sitting here midway through the year, as long as they're all healthy, and we're like, man, he is gunning it. They are just, God knows Andy doesn't want to run it. So, I'll take the over on the Mahomes stuff. I think Mahomes in a pretty significant year statistically.
I would love another 5,050 touchdown. Not 5,050 touchdowns, 5,000 passing yards, 50 touchdowns. I wanted to be clear on that. Yeah. I figured you knew what I was talking about, but I wanted to.
Not North 39. Can't watch, and you're on it either.
Yeah.
This guy can't count.
This guy sucks. He doesn't know how he.
Bring back Briscoe.
I can't stand it when Tucker's on.
If that guy leaves that comment on this show, honestly, all the props in the world.
Hats off. You get that would be funny. But I do want to see just Mahomes go nuclear this year because it feels like a you forgot type of year, especially with the way that the injuries are trending with both Rice and Simmons being healthy going into training camp. That all feels really good about how their offense is going to shake out. And look, we talked about it a couple shows ago, just about how the context of last year, I think, is a little bit blown out of proportion when it comes to Patrick Mahomes. Of everything crumbled around him, and he and the coaching staff kind of had to scramble 4 weeks into the season to completely change how they were planning on playing the season, and they made it still to the Super Bowl. That is quite astounding.
I always try to just be I know I can be obnoxious, but let's just be really honest about that team last year. Okay. They got to the Super Bowl. They went 15-2. Awesome.
Yeah.
After Rashee Rice went down, all right, the first game they played after that was against New Orleans on Monday Night Football. That was the Juju game.
Yeah.
Where he had 7 catches for 130 yards.
Right.
Okay. Let me see. This is a game we've been playing this offseason that I'm sure everybody's excited about. 1, 2, 3, 4. 7 other guys had a reception in that game for the Chiefs. We are not even, a year removed from that game? Name those other guys.
Justin Watson.
No.
He didn't have a reception. That's actually astounding to me. Worthy.
Yes, he had 3 for 25.
Okay. Travis Kelsey.
Yeah, he had 9 for 70. He had a big game.
No, wow, that's a big game for last year. Travis Kelsey. Noah Gray.
2 for 29.
Okay. Small game for sure.
Now we're getting in the weeds.
Yeah, I mean we're in the thick of it. Was Isaiah Pacheco still? No, Isaiah Pacheco got hurt week 2. Was this been a Kareem Hunt catch? Did Kareem Hunt get a catch in this one?
1 for 15 yards. Yep.
Okay. Gosh, who else did they have? Oh, Samaje Perine. He
1 for 24.
Let's go. Okay, that's 5.
You're missing 2 guys.
Are they receivers?
Yes.
Good Lord, this is going to be tough. Justin Ross didn't make an appearance in this game, did he?
No, he did not. No.
Okay, I didn't think so.
One of these guys, I have to check. Does he qualify as a receiver? I think he's technically, he's a tight end now. A little bit of a hint for you. Good luck.
A tight end now? Is he on an NFL roster?
He was a receiver. Now he's a tight end.
God bless. I don't know if I can get that one.
One of the guys you're missing had 4 catches in this game.
4. I'm missing the guy who caught the ball 4 times.
4 for 33.
Who else did they have catching the football?
He was a receiver.
He's a wide receiver. Last year.
And still is.
Is he actively on an NFL team?
Yes.
Is he actively still on the Kansas City Chiefs?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, it's incredible.
Is one of them Sky Moore?
No, not Sky Moore.
Oh, thank goodness.
No, who's still in the Chiefs, by the way.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot that fact that you threw out there. I was just like, oh, he's gone.
It's brutal.
I give up. I'm throwing in the flag.
I feel about Mecole Hardman.
Judas, I forgot about Mecole Hardman. He was like a staple of their offense there for a little bit. There was a couple times when they were running against the Niners, they were running Mecole Hardman and Sky Moore sets.
Yes, they were. And then the last one, 1 for 5 yards. How do you feel about Jody Fortson?
See, I was going to say Jody, but I was like, he was already hurt by then, surely.
This is why, though, when people are like, what about Mahomes? You have number 1. It's like, he was throwing to plumbers. I mean, I'm sorry. With all due respect to Jody Fortson, bless his heart, man. But, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Mecole Hardman went to the Jets. The Jets, a half season into it, were like, we can't use this guy.
No, yeah.
Goes back to the Chiefs. To Mecole Hardman's credit, then catches the biggest pass in the history of the franchise. Right? And comes back, and now is on the Packers. Okay?
Yeah.
I plan on running into Mecole this summer training camp. Listen, Mecole Hardman, you could do a lot worse for a second-round pick. He ends up having a real impact on the Chiefs dynasty, okay? He's got 3 rings. He's a beloved guy in the room. But when you're throwing 4 times for 33 yards to Mecole Hardman, all right, you are struggling at the receiver position, okay? And that is what the Chiefs were dealing with a year ago. I think people just have this cognitive dissonance sometimes. You were talking about that Niners game, which was the following week. Okay, again, that's a game. Kareem Hunt, 2 catches. Hardman, a catch. Samaje Perine, a catch. Xavier Worthy, 3 for 19. Noah Gray, 4 for 66. Kelsey, 4 for 17. Justin Watson, 1 for 8. Okay, Fortson got a target, didn't catch the ball. Sky Moore got a target, didn't catch the ball. Shout out to Sky Moore. The ultimate Sky Moore box score. It's honest to God. It's just, people are like, why isn't he putting up the numbers he once put up? It's like, are you kidding me? Do you have the gift of sight? I mean, this is why. And the year before that, his receivers were actively betting against the team. The year prior to that, when they won the Super Bowl, I remember covering the Detroit game for Sports Illustrated. I was in the building. And I walked out, and I said to my dad on the phone, I said, listen, don't even worry about it. There's no way they're going to drop that many passes all year long. Boy, do they have a surprise in for us. And they won this Super Bowl with that team. I mean, that team with the 10th best quarterback in the league. Baker Mayfield is 5-12.
Oh yeah.
Okay? Like, as great as that defense was, the offense just sinks them. And Mahomes and Kelsey and like the second half version of Rashee Rice basically just carried them on a backboard to the Super Bowl as they just ambled along. And people have the gall to be, I don't understand why Mahomes isn't putting up numbers like Burrow. It's like, I got to tell you, you want to watch the game? I'll tell you why. Oh my God. Yeah. Give me Mahomes on the over because he's going to go out there and health holding up is going to see 3 or 4 receivers who can actually catch a pass.
Right.
The only problem he has, he might just start weeping in the huddle. Like, Pat, you ready to call up? I can't. I'm overcome. So there are 8 hands in this huddle that actually can catch a football.
Uh-huh.
Listen, that might cause them to burn some early timeouts, but you take that trade off.
It could. Okay. We hit the Mahomes one. We only have receiving yards right now for the
they don't even have a running back for the Chiefs.
They don't have a running back on the board for rushing yards. I want rushing touchdowns. They do not. DraftKings said we're not actually going to put an Isaiah Pacheco line out there. Sorry, guys. Let me double check the receiving yards to see. Yeah. I might have missed Rashee Rice. I did. Okay, let's start with Rashee Rice. Okay. His over under for receiving yards is set at 925.5 by Rashee Rice. Both you and I are very high on Rashee Rice. I think that both of us pretty comfortably take
everything overwhelming over. I think to be fair to DraftKings, I get the line. It's a matter of like, is he healthy?
Right, 100%. Yes.
If he's healthy, he's 1,000% blown by the guy. I think. Again, that is a case of if he's taking the under, you're just saying he's not going to be healthy. Yeah. Because if he's going to be healthy, that guy's going for 1,200 plus yards. In fact, he was destroying teams last year. And now he's got Worthy next to him, fully fledged. Listen, not to be a homer, I would take the over.
Worthy's an interesting one, too, because he's at 825.5. Last year in his rookie season, good rookie season for Xavier Worthy, 638 yards for him. Do you think he takes the jump to 826 yards?
He could, but in the interest of not being a homer, I will take the slight under. I think he's at like 800.
Yeah, it's a bit rich. I think that one's a bit rich.
Like, because listen, there's only one football, and if I think Rice is going to have an unbelievable year, plus if Hollywood Brown, like he's another guy they're going to throw the ball to. So I'll say Worthy comes in around like 800, like right under. But I think I'll say under.
I think I agree with you on that one. The third highest receiver, pass catcher, I should say, that the Chiefs have on the board at DraftKings Sportsbook, Travis Kelsey, receiving yards 675.5. He did see a dip last year in his receiving yards, but
what are you finished with?
Looking that up right now, and it pulled up Jason Kelsey for some reason. 823. Interesting.
97 receptions. Wasn't going for the deep ball.
No.
Here's why I think this isn't over. Because of those 97 receptions. Mahomes is throwing him the football.
Yeah.
Mahomes in any critical spot. I think Rice has kind of gotten to that point where Mahomes trusts him implicitly and will throw to him. We saw that in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago when it was a cover zero and he was like, ball's going to you, bud. Get ready. But Kelsey's his guy.
Right.
Kelsey is his. When you think of Montana, you think of Rice. In 30 years, when you think of Mahomes, you're going to think of Travis Kelsey.
I think Keith Cash, actually.
Oh, I mean, who doesn't? Keith Cash, it's an all-time great for spiking the ball in Buddy Ryan's face.
I watched that 94. I don't know if you saw me tweeting about it. I was live tweeting the 90. First time I'd ever watched the game in its entirety. It showed on NFL Network. The 94 Chiefs-Niners game in week 2 at Arrowhead.
I did see you tweeting that, yes.
Yeah, that's a good game. Fun game.
Oh, dude, I have that game on VHS tape from when I was a kid.
It's a good one.
Yeah,
dude, Derek Thomas, fucking problem. He was a problem for that Niners O-line.
The Niners were missing 4 starters in that game.
They were, yeah.
Teeing off on Steve Young. That is safety.
Neil Smith had 2. Neil Smith had a roughing the passer and 2 personal fouls where he just hit Steve Young on a run play. And if they're calling a personal foul in 1994, you know it had to kind of be egregious for unnecessary roughness.
I watch so many old school, like ridiculous. Like I literally right now have a game on that like is paused from '97 with the Chiefs and the Niners. But I was watching one earlier where Rich Gannon got absolutely lit up a solid 2.5 seconds after he threw the football.
Yeah.
Like decleated by this guy in the Raiders. And he wants a flag and doesn't get it. And Marty's going berserk on the sideline. And Bob Trumpy, who is the man, is in the booth with Charlie Jones. They show the replay. And Charlie Jones is like, it's borderline. And Trumpy's like, oh, come on, he barely even touched him. Dude, if you hit somebody like that today, you'd be suspended.
Right, you'd be in jail.
It took him off his feet.
It put you in Fort Leavenworth.
Oh my God! It was the guy took like 8 steps and just drilled him. And that's fine. Anyway,
sorry for that diatribe there.
Yeah, no. The reason I take the Kelsey over is he's just going to get so many targets. Like even if they scale back his targets, I mean, he's seen in the last 5 years. His targets have been 145, 134, 152, 121, 133.
Right.
Like if they scale the guy's targets back to 100, I mean, he catches about 72% of the passes. So let's say he catches 75 balls for the year. Okay. He catches 75 passes. And I know last year was 8.5 yards, but every other year has been over 10. And he goes for 11 yards of reception. Quick math says 75 times 11, 825 yards. So I'll take
easy over. Yeah, I think that one's a pretty easy over. I think 800. I feel pretty comfortable with like him at 800-ish.
Do you think there's a shot he's 1,000 this year?
No, I really don't.
Like my head says no, and there's a part of me that's like, slim down Travis Kelsey with Rashee Rice on the field, maybe. But yeah, I'm with you. I don't think he gets. I think he's like 850 right now.
I'm not letting myself get there personally.
I think he's like 850. Although if he has 100 yards in Brazil, look out! I'm going to be screaming that he's got 1,500 yards. But no,
lead the league. Remember that one season where he was like leading the league like into week 16 in like receiving yards, and you're like, holy shit, is he going to do it?
That year, I believe that was 2020 when he had 14-16.
Yeah.
I mean, people are going to look back at his numbers and think they were a typo. I mean, that guy was a tight end. That's one thing, man. I'll go to the grave with this one. The argument of him and Gronkowski, I get it. Gronkowski was an unbelievable blocker and all that. I totally get it. Gronkowski doesn't hold a candle to him as a receiver, man. It's not even close.
Well, Gronkowski's touchdown magic.
Put up 600 yards a season.
Yeah.
At the end of his career. It was Gronk had 4 years where he had he had 4 years of over 850 yards in his career. 4 years. Kelsey has done that every year of his career until last season when he had 823, which would have been like the 5th best year of Gronk's career.
Right.
97 catches happened in a down season. You're like, oh my God, what happened?
Right.
He's unbelievable, man. The guy's ridiculous.
He is. The stretch of 1,000-yard receiving seasons will never be touched, I don't think.
No. Do we have are there Hollywood Brown numbers or no?
Yeah, I do. I do have a Hollywood Brown. 525.5 is Hollywood Brown.
All right. Well, taking the over on Rice.
Over on Kelsey.
Slide on the run Worthy. And what's the number on Brown?
It is 525.5.
I mean,
last season, that's not. I don't think he's hit that number very many times, if I recall. Let me pull up his.
My initial guts he's got 500 yards receiving.
Yeah,
because he's really the 4th option on the team.
Right. Let's see. He's had over 525 yards. Oh, I guess all but last year he had 525.
Okay.
That's a lot more than I thought, actually.
But the problem was he was the number one guy in every other offense he was in.
That's true.
I'll take the under of 500. I just think like, I think he'll be good in his role, but he's the fourth receiver on the team. And like, what happens also to the other thing that when you start getting down the depth chart, what happens if like Jalen Royals just goes to camp and it's unbelievable?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that like, I love the Royals pick, but like, my guess is that he's probably more a special teamer this year and like kind of comes along.
Right.
What if Jalen Royals, you're just like, you're getting like those tweets from like Pete Sweeney in camp was like, oh my God, Royals again. Like, you don't like the further you get down that depth chart, the more risk you have if somebody's like sneaking up and all of a sudden like, oh wow, actually this guy, jumped up and took a bunch of snaps and everything else. Where like, the other three guys are gonna be on the field.
Yeah. I think that's a good point. Tyquan Thornton seems to be a darling of everybody so far. We'll see how that pans out. He's fast. But we do have some quick hitters coming up here. We do got to take a break. You know what, Matt? I've got some more props I want to talk about, but we can save those for Friday. Let's save those for Friday's show so we do have at least a little bit to talk about because who knows what's going to happen between now and then. We will roll through some quick hitters or some stuff we didn't get to touch on Friday because Friday's show went a little bit long, if I remember correctly. We didn't get to any quick hitters, but I'll quickly wrap up the weekend, and then we'll take a break. We'll be back right after this. Oh, I have a new DraftKings read, Matt. You're going to want to see this. Chiefs.
Looking for tickets for your next event? Tickets for Less is your #1 source. Save big on every purchase when you use promo code KCSN at ticketsforless.com.
I'm BJ Kissel, founder and CEO of KC Sports Network. Emprise Bank has been with us from the beginning. They were our first network partner, and they believed in the vision of what we were building from the start. I can't speak to any other banks or companies and how they operate, but I can tell you from personal experience and based on the growth of the network you're listening to right now, that if you have banking needs, call our friends at Emprise Bank. We've worked with so many great people there over the years, from Vicky and Aggie to Andrea, Lori, Jackie, Deb, and Aaron, and not to mention so many others that not just supported KC Sports Network, but supported our KCSN Foundation as well. But the best thing that I know is that if I have a question or a problem, no matter how dumb the question is, I know who I'm going to call and who I'm going to talk to, and I know that I'm getting an answer from someone that I can trust, and I know that person is there to help us. That's why Emprise Bank has always been and continues to be our partner in Possible, and they can be yours too. You just have to reach out. If you have a banking need, whether it's business or personal, hit me up. I will connect you directly with the same people that have helped us build KCSN, and that's our friends at Emprise Bank.
Folks, there's nothing that beats relaxing on a hot summer day and watching some baseball. And there's no simpler way to get in on the action than by downloading the Pick 6 app from DraftKings. It's crazy simple. Just pick more or less on the stats for 2 or more of your favorite players, and boom, you're in the mix for big cash prizes. And the best part, Pick 6 is available right here in Missouri. Don't miss out on the fun. Don't settle for a smaller payout. Switch to Pick 6, and right now, new customers can get $25 in bonus picks with their first deposit of $5. Here's what you got to do. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use code KCSN. That's code KCSN for new customers to get $25 in bonus picks with their first deposit of $5. Better payouts, bigger wins, only with Pick 6 from DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Void where prohibited. New customers only. Minimum $5 deposit. Bonus picks expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
How many fucking hats were you up to by the end of that thing?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think 7.
Nice. I was concerned when you got down to that, as my daughter calls it, the crisscross applesauce, the sitting down with the legs crossed.
Yeah.
If I sat down like that, I'm not getting up.
Yeah.
I've got to be like knocked over to get up. So I was a little concerned when that wasn't like the last stance you had in the video. But good for you. You make the promo reads interesting, which is something most people can't even dream of doing. So I give you credit for that one.
I do my best. I feel like people should be entertained if they have to listen to an ad read. So that was a suggestion from a viewer. I don't remember what video it was on. I don't remember what show, who it was. So I'm doing a really good job at this. But so thank you to the suggestion of adding a hat. I don't remember who it was. I'm sure they'll let me know in the comment section. The hats are good. I think that's the next bit, is just adding articles of clothing. Better than taking articles of clothing off, to be fair. For the DraftKings does not want me to do that. I don't think KC Sports ever wants me to do that either.
Well, it would be hilarious if you started out with like 10 layers of clothing.
Right, yeah.
You guys had like regular like outfit.
Right. By the end of the disclaimer of see this website for details, I'm just in a t-shirt and shorts.
Yeah. There you go.
All right, let's get into quick hitters. The Texans, the Houston Texans, ever heard of them? They signed former Chiefs legend Damon Arnett to a contract. He doesn't have to go far because he was with the Houston Roughnecks in the UFL. He was also in the practice squad with Kelsey. That was the last time he was on a roster, technically.
Yeah.
For a couple months. But Damon Arnett making a comeback for the Houston Texans.
On a serious note, I hope for him he's got his stuff figured out, because he was a former first-round pick for the Raiders that just could not get out of his own way. Legal issues, you name it, like just constantly in trouble. But listen, you know what? If the Texans got nothing to lose, and if you're Damon Arnett, you got everything to lose. Like, this might be your last shot. So, listen, hopefully it works out for him. I don't think in that secondary he's going to be seeing a whole lot of time. They're pretty well set there with Lassiter and Stingley. But, look, if you're him, just getting back in the NFL at this point is a pretty big win.
I believe he had a pretty decent year for the Roughnecks as well. 18 tackles, 1 sack, 5 pass breakups, and a pick 6. So shout out to Damon Arnett. The Roughnecks were not the best team in the UFL. I'll say that. But moving on. The Jaguars signed Travis Hunter to his rookie contract with a signing bonus that was $30.5 million. Also, I believe fully guaranteed. Something about the guarantees in that contract, but he signs with a $30.5 million signing bonus. I thought that was noteworthy. Big signing bonus.
Listen, man, that kid, he has to live up to impossible expectations. I mean, he is expected to be the best corner in this class, the best receiver in this class.
Yep.
Jacksonville basically gave up 9 draft classes for him.
Yep.
I mean, this is, legitimately unprecedented. You know, like, we've never had anybody enter the league with this kind of fanfare in the modern era where you're going to play both ways. I am fascinated to see how Jacksonville plays. Like, are you really going to play this kid full go both ways?
Yeah.
That seems like a lot. But look, I mean, he is a unicorn, and I'm really excited to watch him. I'll tell you that much. I am really excited to sit down and watch that kid play football, because he was amazing at Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, to be drafted where he was.
Yep.
But man, it's a lot of. So, it's good for him, I think, in a way that he was drafted to a team like Jacksonville, a smaller market. Like, you get drafted to the Giants or something, and you are under the microscope, big time. But yeah, I mean, look, hey, listen, if I was Travis Hunter, I'd be like, hey, you're paying me the wage of 2 players, because I'm playing 2 positions. But hey, listen, good on him. He deserves some money. Now let's find out if he can be the Shohei Ohtani of football.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned it. It's a 4-year, $46 million deal, which, I mean, pretty standard for like a number 2 overall pick. Look, as hard as the Bengals want to make this look, those are all pretty standard contracts for rookies. It's easy to sign a rookie.
Absolutely furious as we speak. Why isn't he signing?
But he does get, but the $30.5 million signing bonus is like another salary, essentially, because he's making $10 million, $10-ish million. I don't want to do the full math over the next 4 years. So, I mean, he's making $30 million up front, and for the signing bonus, it's essentially, the way to do it.
Because I saw he signed, but I would assume the signing bonus is probably, though, a massive chunk of the actual contract, correct?
Maybe I didn't look either.
Okay, so I would think
if that's how it works, then that would make a lot more sense.
I'm going to pull that up real quick for you. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So his
All
his base salary the next 3 years are next 4 years, $840,000, $1 million, 1.1, 1.2.
Travis, you're gonna have to get a financial advisor because you cannot spend all this money in one place because you got to spread this sucker out.
Yeah, so that's signing bonus. Make it last, my friend.
It's gotta last, Travis. Travis, gotta make this one last.
Basically, get the cash up front.
Thank goodness. A couple more signings. I don't really need a reaction on either of these unless you want to give one.
I'm sure.
Former Chief legend Yasir Durant signs with the Patriots. He was on the UFL champion. I omitted him from my shout out of DC Defenders. DC Defenders. They had Jordan Tamu. They had Cornell Powell. They had Yasir Durant, obviously. Right. They had DeAndre Baker. He was their best cornerback. Loaded deep. Like, it's like the Chiefs practice squad. And they won the title, baby. They were absolutely loaded to the gills. He signs with the Patriots. Shout out to a former Missouri Tiger and a former Kansas City Chief. Jair Alexander, we did speculate. I asked if he was if Lamar Jackson was tampering. Apparently, you can talk to people who are free agents. Who would have thought? Jair Alexander will wear 23 with the Ravens. He signed on Wednesday, I believe, after our podcast there. We didn't talk about him officially signing. And one I do want to get your thoughts on. Colts quarterback Anthony Richardson expects to be ready to go for camp for the Indianapolis Colts. That's
the chance to win that job. He has to be.
Yeah.
Look, man. I feel like I've talked a lot about Anthony Richardson in media spots in the last week. Really succinctly, like, he's been awful. And Shane Steichen is, I'm sure, running out of patience from a coaching standpoint, but also, like, you need to win now. You need to show some progress now.
Right.
The Colts are a really patient organization, but, like, now Irsay passing, you got new ownership. I know it's his daughter. I get it. But, like, somebody who's new in the building, like, she may want to do things her way. You don't know how patient she is. Maybe she's super patient. Maybe she's not. Like, there's unknowns there. I don't think Shane Steichen has the luxury of screwing around this year and watching them go 7-10 because Anthony Richardson tries to throw the ball in the flat and hits the safety 30 yards downfield. Like, yeah. It's enough of this already. And if I got to watch one more bozo who covers the league like we all do, sitting here, like, I know he went 9 for 31, but the box score is misleading. No, bro, it's not. He stunk. Like, just stop. I have NFL Game Pass too, bud. Like, I can also watch it in 40 minutes. And I watched every throw he made, and he stunk. Okay? Just because you have a bunch of priors that you want to make stand up doesn't mean it actually is going to happen. Okay? I thought John Bolton was going to be good once upon a time. Guess what? It wasn't. Wasn't good. I think the problem for Richardson is Daniel Jones brings 3 things to the table that Steichen's going to fall in love with. He is mobile, which, okay, Richardson is too. Richardson's more mobile, but he's mobile.
Yep.
Here are the 2 things that Daniel Jones does do that Richardson doesn't. He will not throw picks, and he will complete passes. Now, he will throw underneath, and he will be short and safe and all the rest of that shit, and that's why he got cut. I guarantee you, Daniel Jones will complete 65% of his passes, and he'll run for 500 yards, and he'll throw 14 touchdowns and 5 picks. And Shane Steichen's going to look at that and say, if we have the ground game that I know we have, and we can play some defense with Lou Anarumo as our D coordinator, we can win 9 or 10 games, and our division sucks, and that might be enough to win the division. Now, look, I don't know that that's true. Maybe they're a 7 or 8 win team like that. The point is, Richardson completed 47% of his passes last year.
Yeah.
That's you cannot win with that.
Right.
It's impossible. And also, I've been in enough NFL locker rooms. When that guy walked off the field because he was tired, it's over.
Tough.
I'm sorry. Like, dude, I didn't even play football growing up outside like Pee Wee football. You played high school ball. In high school, if your quarterback was like, I'm tired, bro, I got to take a play off, you would have fought that guy in the locker room on sight.
Yeah.
I mean, you're in the NFL. You're the number 1 draft pick. You're the quarterback. You know, listen, I'm a little winded. I'm going to need a blow here. What, are you kidding me? Bro, stay down and hold your hamstring or something.
Yeah, right.
You know, I got a cramp. Fuck. To say after the game, I was just tired. I needed to play off. good night. I don't care what the Colts say publicly. Okay.
Right.
There is no world that any of those players had any respect for him after that. I'm sorry.
Yeah. That's a tough one to come back from.
Yeah.
But I feel for Indianapolis fans because they did just have to watch Tyrese Halliburton destroy his Achilles on national television after. Well, man, I know you're not a big Pacers fan, but it looked like Tyrese Halliburton was going to go nuclear that game.
It did. And you know what? It's funny. I'm not, I guess funny is a terrible word. It's ironic. I am not a Pacers fan. I cannot stand the Pacers as a Knicks fan of the product of the 90s. I have like a very visceral reaction when he got hurt. I felt so bad for him that he got hurt.
Yeah.
Like I just, when they showed him on the ground, even before they showed the replay, which by the way, shout out to ESPN for showing that 37
God
times.
damn.
I think we got it, guys. He blew his Achilles out. We're good. Like when I saw him on the floor, I knew immediately. Like you just could tell he knew. And all I could think about was, here's a guy who's played his entire life to get to a moment like this. And to your point, yeah, he looked awesome.
He was locked in.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you, going into the game, I thought they were going to win. I thought they were going to win the game. And as much as I can't stand the Pacers or anything, man, I couldn't have felt worse for him.
Yeah.
I just felt so shitty for him because here's a guy who has done everything he could possibly do. He's a driving force of that team. He gets all the way there. He's playing through this calf strain in a league that everybody and their mother has maintenance days. And it's like, oh, I can't play on that. I got a hangnail. Like he played with an injury that you know can be catastrophic in the NBA. Mm-hmm. He did it anyway. You know, I got to tell you, it came obviously in a loss. I will always have an immense amount of respect for him.
Yeah.
There's so many guys in today's sports landscape that would have just, I can't play, I can't go, blah, blah. I got to think about me. I give that guy a ton of credit, man. Being like, no, fuck that. I'm playing. And if it goes, it goes. Like, and even in his post from the hospital, he was, you know, which I thought was really well worded and like, well thought out. Like, you know, a lot of times like agents send that crap out, but you could tell like he wrote it. And he was like, you know, I don't care. I'd do it again. I was like, you know, I believe you because you did it the first time. Yeah. Like you knew that could have happened and you still did it. And I have a lot of respect for that, you know, over these guys who it's like, you know, half these guys, I won't name names, are out there during the regular season. You know when they're going to take a maintenance day because they're ducking some matchup they don't want to have to face.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, my shoulder. Like, yeah, your shoulder. Or maybe it's just known as like Nikola Jokic. You know, like, oh, I can't tonight. Yeah, it's like, I felt awful for Hal. I felt really, really awful for him. Which for me to feel that bad, having, you know, covered in professional sports, you kind of get used to just seeing guys get hurt. Unfortunately, as bad as it is, you're used to it. That's one of the very few times I actually had I felt like a little sick to my stomach. Like I just felt so bad for him.
Yeah, that was certainly a tough one to watch. And then the Colts and then Indianapolis fans have to go from that to Daniel Jones as their quarterback. So, God bless Indianapolis.
Enjoy Caitlin Clark.
They do have Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham. They're fun.
Dude, I am not
the shit out of girls. That's fucking sick.
I don't watch the WNBA, not because like I'm one of these going, oh, it's not. I just listen. I got a family. I get so funny. I got to draw the line.
Yes.
Okay, like at the same reason I watch college football. Sophie Cunningham might have to get a jersey just to. I was like, I saw her do that in that game against who I can't remember. It was Connecticut, or I think it was. I was like, I have an immense amount of adoration for this human being. She was just like, enough of this shit. And just grab this. I was like, all right. Like, I know if I'm Caitlin Clark, I'd be like, you're not paying for another dinner the rest of the season.
Yeah.
I got it.
The quote after, or like the next game, she was in like a pregame media scrum right after practice or something before they played like the Aces. And she was basically asked like, why'd you do that? And she's like, well, the league won't stand up for her. Someone has to. I was like, damn, hell yes. Let's go. Sophie Cunningham, the enforcer. Mizzou made, by the way, from Columbia.
Oh, there you go.
Purebred.
I appreciate it. It reminded me as a hockey fan of back in the day when every hockey team had a goon.
Oh, that's a good movie, by the way.
The only purpose of having the goon was just to protect your star player. And every once in a while, some other guy would take a run at the star player. instantaneously they're going to just the next shift out and just beat the shit out of somebody.
Yep.
Hockey's a little different now, but man, back in the year, you knew that guy had one purpose. He was there to draw. The Devils used to have a guy, Big Jim McKenzie. I swear to Christ, I don't know if he scored one goal in his career. He was huge. And his claim to fame was he could punch equally with both hands.
Oh, wow.
They would just send this guy out there, and he would just annihilate. This guy is awesome. Big Jim McKenzie. I got to look at what
it's like he probably has like 6 shots, 315 penalty minutes.
Dude, easily. Like he was the ultimate in a guy who just but here's how much hockey's changed. Okay. He played 15 years in the NHL.
Wow.
And he played for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 teams.
Wow.
And in his career, he played 880 games at 100 points even. He had 48 goals. His penalty minutes, I find it. Played 880 games, 1,739 penalty minutes. Big Jim's not there to fuck around. Big Jim's there to kick somebody's ass and sit in the box.
That's so good.
He was the only reason he had guy man. I mean, for anyone who's unaware, like hockey, 60 minutes, 3 periods, 20 minutes each. His time on ice for the Devils was 7.5 minutes a game.
That's so funny.
They were just like, hey, Jim, why don't you take your one shift this period, go out and punch somebody? All right, not a problem.
That guy's really annoying us. Why don't you go out there and pop him in the mouth?
And he won a Stanley Cup with him. I mean, his only role on the team was just to punch somebody in the face.
It's incredible.
Great.
We need more enforcers in more sports.
Shout out to Sophie Cunningham. Can play hockey anytime she wants.
Shout out to Soph. Okay, a couple of headlines before we talk about Aaron Rodgers. Bucks are going to wear their creamsicles against the Falcons on Thursday Night Football in Week 15.
Awesome.
Love it when the creamsicles come back. It's a shame they're only going to do it once this year, and it's also a shame it's on Thursday Night Football. But primetime game, and you get the creamsicles. If the Falcons wear their throwbacks too in this game,
wear the red helmets. How does that team not just go back to the red helmets full time?
I mean, those are sick.
That uniform you have now sucks. Like, you just go back to what worked.
I can't remember what I was watching. Oh, Chris Johnson highlights. I was watching Chris Johnson highlights the other day because that dude was insane that one year. He had 2,500 all-purpose yards. The white helmets for Tennessee, so much better than the helmets they have now.
Not even close. Yeah.
Yeah. Why do they go to the Navy ones? That's dumb.
I've never loved the Titans uniform in general, but the white ones are much better than these blue ones. Like, it's the same thing's true with Seattle. Like, the silver helmets are a million times better than the blue helmets. Yeah. It's all the monochrome. It's like when the Chiefs would dress like ketchup bottles. And like the first time they did it, like, that's cool. And then like the 7th time, like, all right, stop.
Yeah.
Like, your uniform's awesome. Just wear your uniform.
I do like the all whites though.
The all whites is different because you have the red helmet.
Right. Yes.
When you're wearing the red helmet with the red jersey with the red pant, it's like, all right, guys, I'll do the all whites. That might be my favorite Chiefs uniform.
I think it's mine. Is that what Marty liked to wear? Is that what it was? Was the all whites?
They always wore the all whites with Marty. Yeah. And I don't mind the red pants with the white jersey, but
no, me either.
But the white on white and the regular home jersey are classics. Like whenever somebody's like, let's have an alternate jersey, I'm ready to fight him in the parking lot. No, like I don't want to. I'm wearing a black jersey or a yellow jersey. Like, no. Like they wear those jerseys. That's it. Like that, they're perfect. Leave them alone. Otherwise you end up being the Bears who are wearing fucking pumpkins on their heads 3 times a year. Dude,
why in the hell do they wear the orange tops with their orange helmets?
It's atrocious.
If they just wore their regular uniforms and they wanted to wear the orange helmet, it would look okay. But they decided to go orange on orange. If they went orange on navy, it'd be like, all right, fine, whatever. The orange helmet sucks. Number one. But like it's the orange top is not good either. So I mean,
I don't mind like when the Packers wear their like white helmet. It looks all right, but you're the Green Bay Packers.
Right.
put on yellow helmets and go play football. Like some of these, like I don't care if the Carolina Panthers want to do it. Fine, whatever. Okay.
Yeah. Houston
But,
Texans, sure.
Yeah. You're the Packers, the Steelers, the Raiders, the Chiefs, the Cowboys. Like, come on. You know, you got a little bit. It's like the Lions when they were all that those weird alternate jerseys they have.
Yeah.
Stop it. Like, I know you don't have a lot of great history. You're still the Detroit Lions. You've been around for 100 years. Knock it off. Yeah.
You know the Houston Texans only NFL team to never change their logo.
I guess, yeah, I was thinking immediately like the Chiefs, but the Chiefs were the Dallas Texans.
Mm-hmm. Because they're technically a new franchise too. So I mean, they started in what was it, 01 when they started? 02. Luis Ray Salmon, old friend alert. Old friend alert. Do I have a button for old friend? I don't think so.
I don't know that we need it.
That might be fitting for the headline for Luis Ray Salmon though, because he says he's likely only going to play 1 or 2 more years before he goes back to rugby.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's, I mean, no offense on me. I think that was kind of determined by others.
Did you see him run with a football?
Yeah.
It was not good.
I saw him at camp, and I turned to Nate Taylor, and I said something I'm not going to repeat on the air. And Nate just looked at me and started laughing. I was like, yeah. It was a shared thought. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. All right, here's the headline you guys have all been waiting for. Aaron Rodgers was on his weekly Pat McAfee show. Well, I don't know if he's doing it weekly anymore, but he was on the Pat McAfee show.
Honestly, it might as well be weekly.
He was on the Pat McAfee show on Tuesday, and he said that he is, quote unquote, pretty sure that this is his last season, and apparently that's as committal as Aaron Rodgers ever gets, as he says it is, well, besides marriage. Pretty sure this will be his last season. My question to you, Matt, I believe he also said that like he'll go away once
yes,
he's done playing, which please be done after the season then. Do you think that if Travis Kelsey plays one more year, he'll come back so Travis Kelsey doesn't headline a Hall of Fame class?
That's a great question. I honestly, God, think it might cross his mind.
I think so. I think it will. I think it's a conversation.
He's just going to keep playing. Those are really weak year retirement. Just think, all right, now I got the sweet spot. This is it.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to be me and, you know, whoever the fuck is, you know, yeah, but yeah,
Daniel Jones.
Oh, he'll be the only one in that Hall of Fame class.
Right.
Yeah, man. Look, I'm just so sick of him. I hope it's the last year. I just can't do it. Look, man, it's just enough. And like, as far as this, like, that's fine. Whatever. He wants to go on McAfee and say it's probably his last. That's fine. I don't care about that. That doesn't bother me at all. But like, what will bother me is every single week during the season, hearing him just be like, well, you know, I'm beat up, you know, not getting blocked for, you know, guys aren't getting open. I'm tired, you know, I'm just out here doing the best I can, you know, and the media is just all over me all the time. I just don't want this. My biggest problem with Aaron Rodgers has been the same thing for the last handful of years. I know people always immediately jump to the whole like, oh, it's his vaccine stance. I don't give a shit what his vaccine stance is. Right. I don't care. You know why? Because I have a life. I don't care what his vaccine stance is. What I do care about is his disingenuousness. Like, I am just so tired of like, oh, the media. Meanwhile, the guy had a freaking camera crew following him around for a Netflix doc during the season. Yeah. Like, it's such a waste of time to sit. Like, look, I don't care if you want some media, fine, whatever. But like, he's so disingenuous, and that's the thing. Like, I can't stand people in my regular day-to-day life that are like that. And then this whole year is going to be him just doing this nonstop. Like, well, I might play, I might not. I don't know. We'll see. Like, I don't care. I don't care what you do. You're 41. You've been terrible the last couple of years. And by the way, I'm not including the year you got hurt. Even the last year in Green Bay, you were terrible. Like, I don't care what you do. I don't care. And so at this point, like, look, I think he makes the Steelers better. I think he's better than Wilson or Fields. But I don't think he makes him, like, a contender. I just think he makes him interesting.
Last year, Aaron Rodgers completed 63% of his passes, 3,897 yards, 28 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Those numbers are starkly similar to Patrick Mahomes last year, by the way.
Also, though, if you look at those numbers, you break down the game log. He the last couple games played well. He was awful for like 3 quarters of the season.
Yeah.
And like, I'm also big, like, go watch those games with him.
Oh, for sure. I was more surprised of like how the totals ended up for him because like I'm like, oh, he played awful. Then you look at the totals, you're like, whoa.
It's the same argument like the last year Russ had in Denver when people like he threw 26 touchdowns. Like, go watch those games.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Like, go watch that guy and tell me you want him as your quarterback. You know, that is the biggest thing with box score. And like, people just love to be like, this guy did this. And it's like, did you watch those games? Did you actually watch him play all, whatever, 70 snaps? Like, he's unwatchable. He's so bad. And it'd be like, well, yeah, but I mean, Russ, 26 touches. Like, that's nice. And then you watch the games, and it's him throwing a dump off pass for 3 yards in the flat to like Jaleel McLaughlin.
Right.
Anyway, I think he's better than Russ. I think he's better than Justin Fields. I think he's the 3rd best quarterback by a mile in that division. And, listen, I think they're a 9-win team. Like, maybe they win 10, maybe they win 8. Like, I think they're right around that.
He did. I'm looking at the game logs now and his air yards, his completed air yards. He didn't have a game where he was over 175 completed air yards, over 170. He had one over 165 completed air yards.
He was not good. Okay, I probably watched. I'm not going to say I watched every game. That'd be a lie. I watched probably a dozen Jets games last.
I hope you didn't watch every Jets game for your own.
I watched a dozen. Dude, he was
illness.
God. It's brutal.
Are the Jets going to be better this year?
No. Dude, the Jets are rancid.
Yeah, but their defense isn't bad.
The defense hasn't been bad in 5 years.
That's a great point. That's actually a good point.
I would be willing to bet. I think it's far more likely that Garrett Wilson requests a trade in October than it is that they win 7 games.
I like that. Wonder if you can find that on DraftKings.
I feel like that's one of those like Rich Eisen shows, like, what's more likely? I mean, it's just, I just wonder if you're Garrett Wilson, like, how many more years of shit can you take?
Yeah.
Before you're like, you know what, I'm good. Trade me. And I gotta be honest with you, if you're the Jets, like, if somebody give you a 1st round pick, I mean, don't get me wrong, I think Garrett Wilson's incredible, but like, if you're the Jets, I don't know, man. You gotta just kind of.
People forget that they had the offensive and defensive rookie of the year that year with Garrett Wilson and Sauce.
Yeah, I got a story for you off air that's hilarious, but people do forget that.
People do forget. We're here to make sure people don't forget. Maybe we should just have a segment like so.
You forget?
Yeah, people forget, and then we just say something that we think people forget. That's gonna go right after our Bozo of the Week segment that we'll do tomorrow, or not tomorrow, on Friday.
Friday. I'm excited about Bozo of the Week.
I've got to find some good sound effects. I gotta find a good. I gotta find a good sound effect for it, and then music underneath that we can play. Right now, I mean, leader in the clubhouse.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks.
Pretty good one, or we could just hit him with the boo.
I like the fact somebody stinks. He makes me feel like I'm back at home. Bozo of the Week. I was just driving to Chicago and I started zoning out. I was like, oh man, that'd be hilarious.
I'm making a note of Bozo. We're definitely doing Bozo of the Week. I think last week we could have definitely done it with Shedeur Sanders and his driving.
Yeah.
That would have been a good one. But that will definitely be thrown in there. Look, I'm always down for segments. People forget it's a good one. We're just gonna say the most random stat. Like, people forget that, that Marcus Allen played pretty well for the Chiefs.
It's good times.
Yeah.
Toss out random stuff. And then we'll throw out false things to see if people know.
That's a good point.
See if people are paying attention.
It's us training their media literacy.
That's right.
That's why you listen to the show, so you learn media literacy. All right, that's gonna plenty do it for this show. We've gone way over.
For like 30 at night.
Yeah. Also, behind the curtain, it's 11:30 at night when we're recording this podcast. So, appreciate everyone tuning into this podcast on a Wednesday. getting you an hour and 18 minutes of football-ish content.
We talked about football for like a half hour.
Yeah, that's true. That's going to do it for that football show. I'm Tucker Franklin. I just killed a fly on my desk. That's Matt Verderame. Thank you to Ben Holiday, Baldwin Bomb, Bourbon Holiday Distillery for making this show possible. We love you. We appreciate you. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button to become a ball knower. We will talk to you guys on Friday. See you then.